Welcome to Module 2 of Microsoft Word application. In this module, we are going to look at typography standards. And under this typography standard, we are going to look at font size and font type selection for our documentations. Why is this module important? This module is important as far as our academics and our office services are concerned. In most of our institutions, they have their recommended font types and font size for their academic works. Could it be assignments? Could it be quiz, exams? They have the font type that they recommend and the font size that they recommend. So this model is very, very necessary. Yes. So lecturers give you assignment and they will instruct you. They will give you these instructions. Use font type Time News Roma. Use size 12 for body and 14 or 16 for titles or headings. All right. So in this module, at the end of this module, you should be able to work with that without facing any challenge. Okay. So we will not waste time. We'll look at how we are going to first select the font type. Okay. All right. And I stated in my model 1 that the ribbon toolbar is very, very important when it comes to Microsoft Word application. If you want to be an expert in Microsoft Word, you have to master the ribbon. You have to know the tabs under the ribbon. You have to know their tools, the various tools under each tab. Because when you're working with a project, there are tools that you may be needing. And if you don't know which tab these tools can be found, you see that you will be there struggling. And if you're not careful, time might beat you. So it's good you know the ribbon, you know the tabs, and you know their tools where they can be located. The most commonly used ones, especially, you have to know where they can be found so that your documentations will always be successful without stress. All right. So how do we select font type, and where do we find font type feature or font type tool? Yes, and font size. On under which type of the ribbon can we find that? Okay, we can get this font type and font size in the home tab of the ribbon. Okay, as you can see currently I'm on the home tab. Yes, and under the home tab we have tools here. We have plenty tools here which are grouped. Okay, so the first group is the clipboard. So the second group, which is font, we can find font type, font size in this particular group of font. Okay, and as you can see, the first bar, rectangular bar that you are seeing is the font type section. Okay, this is the font type section. As you can see, there's a drop down here. So if I click on the drop down, you can see there are plenty font types here that you can make use of. Yes, depending on uh, the the font type that you need for your project or your document. Okay, and next to it is the font size. As you can see, this box, this rectangular small box with a numerical value of 12. So that is the font size section. So we're going to start with the font type. And before, don't forget, before you can apply uh, this typography standards to your document, you have to first of all select the particular section of the document or select the whole document for this to be applied. If you don't select, like this my document, okay, so if I want to apply a certain font type and I didn't select, it can be applied. Okay, so if you don't select, meaning Microsoft Word will read recurrence what exactly you want to do. Okay, so you have to select. Oh, and immediately you select, a signal will be sent to Microsoft Word that, oh, this, you want to perform a certain action to this particular section. So whatever action that you're going to take, that particular section will be affected. Okay, so don't forget, it's very, very important. Before you apply this, you have to first of all select your document. For instance, let's leave it unselected, and I'll go to my font type and I'll pick any font and you see what will happen if there will be any changes. I've changed from Times News Roman to this, and as you can see, my documents remain the same. So if I pick this, the same, right? So that's what I'm talking about. But let me pick my time instrument and I'll select the whole document, Control A to select the whole document, and I'll come back to my font type section and I'll pick a different font. Let's say this one. Yes, as you can see, there's a changes. All right. So if I pick this one, as you can see, there's changes. Yes. If I come to pick area black, all right, as you can see, the changes have been applied. So you have to take note before these applications or these features effect will take place. You have to first of all apply. You have to first of all select the section of the document or the whole document where you want to apply those features before it can happen. All right. In my institution, the recommended font type is Time News Roman. I don't know of your institution or your office. The time the font type that they use for their documentations. Yes, very, very important. So you have to make sure you know your institution recommended font type and also your office that you are working with their font type. Okay, whenever you are given a project, you shouldn't be asking them, or if it is not specified, you wouldn't be asking them, oh, what which font type or which font size am I going to use? But if you already know the recommended font type and font size for the institution, when the lecturer or when your instructor didn't specify, but you know exactly the recommended font type and the font size, very, very important. Okay, so my school uses Time News Roman for the academic works. Could it be assignments, as quiz and exams? Okay, so I'm going to select Time News Roman, and as you can see, there are plenty font types. So scrolling to find a particular font size that you want will be stressful. All right. So the only thing, when you just come to your font type section, you just type, you search. All right. Type the name of the font size. So Time name. I see. As I started to type now, times. As you can see, it has pop. All right. So what you just hit enter. Yes, and as you can see, my font type effect has taken place. So this is how we select font type for our documentations. All right, take note of that. I believe at the end of this model, you should be able to change font type. All right, if your instructor asks you to use a particular font type, you wouldn't be asking AI or calling someone to ask, so I need this font. Where can I get it? Where can I locate? How can I to just select font type? All those stuff. All right. So we'll move to the font size. Okay, the font size. Yes, font size. In my institution, the font size for body part of the essays, body of our documents is 12, or in some cases they use 11. Yes, they use 11 in some cases. Yes, but my institution mostly they use 12 font size 12. Okay, but when it comes to headings and titles, they use either 14 or 16 for headings but titles. Yes, so that's the recommended. So don't forget, get to know your institution's recommended font types and then font size. Okay, for body and headings and titles, and also your office. Get to know their recommended font types and also their recommended font size. All right, very, very important. Yes, why am I saying this? For instance, when we come to CV writing, yes, some institutions they have their recommended font type for their CVs and also the font size for their CVs. So if you don't know, or let's say generally we have a font type generally for CVs, yes, CV writing and uh, font size for both heading and titles and also the body. They have font size. So let's assume you just use any font type, any font type. What will happen? So your CV might be rejected not because of your credentials, but the instructions there. Okay, you might be wondering why your CV is rejected. Yes, it's simply you didn't follow the typography standards. Yes, very, very important. So those of us that are searching for jobs, so when you are creating your CV, you have to consider some of these minor problems before uh, things will go west and you'll be questioning people. Okay, very important. So how do we select the font size? As you can see, my document is already selected. So I'll come here and I'll click the drop down. As you can see, it's already on top. So say if I want font size 11, I'll pick 11. Yes, and as you can see, my documentation is having my document is having font size of 11. So if I want a font size of I want to, you can also type any font size that you want. So let's assume I want 11.5. Can type it and I'll hit enter and it will apply. Yes, it's not, you are seeing whole numbers here. And then if you want the font size of any decimal form, you can enter that manually and hit enter and it will be applied. Okay, so when it comes to the headings and titles, let's assume I want this first line to be my heading or a title or a title. So I'll quickly select it and then I'll come to my font size and I'll pick size 14. Yes, as you can see, it's enlarging. The font size for that particular line is enlarging. Okay, so or if I want font size 16, I'll come and I'll pick it. And as you can see, so this is how we select font type and also font size for our documents. Very, very important. Take note of that to boost your project works. Okay, and our CV build is very, very important. Today job market, I don't know whether there's an institution or there's a company that doesn't demand CV when you apply for a job. I don't know whether there's an institution like that. I'm yet to know. Yes, but what I know is that most institutions they always need your CV to confirm certain credential details of yourself, right? Very much well. So, viewers, this is the end of uh, our module 2. In our next video, we are going to look at the module 3 of Microsoft Word application. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next module. Bye.